Hola, raggedy bitches. It is the Awesome Pod, episode 171. And this is a really, really odd episode because I'm flying solo. Not completely solo, because I do have Lesnar Guy, Michael Daniel, here with me.
Hello.
Diana's, she's traveling for work. And unfortunately, Johnny at the last second, he just completely lost his voice. So it's up to us to run this ship into an iceberg. So we're gonna try to not do that, but you know what? Fuck it. It's a fucking field goal. We're gonna do whatever we want.
Yeah, we're just gonna ram right through the iceberg. Fuck it.
All right. So let's go ahead and fire and start this. First off, how are you doing, Michael? Like how are things?
I'm doing great. I was actually at Dynamite. It was kind of like a last minute thing. I had a friend that had a ticket. She couldn't end up going, so she just hooked me up with the ticket. I was just like, hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah,
So I drove.
nice.
I took the quick 2 hour drive down there. Had to endure the weather going down there. I'm sure you might have heard. I know.
Oh yeah, the
I think they mentioned
storms.
on TV Shelton couldn't make it. Which is that I'm pretty sure that was legit because like there was literally like I was lucky because like all the storms were kind of like we were kind of like on the edge like from because I was coming up from north from Chicago, so like I went through storms but they weren't like it was tolerable, but like not too far away from there, like a little more down south, like they got hit
Yeah.
hard. So
Yeah, see, I'm relatively close to Indianapolis, so
okay, yeah,
yeah, I was right in the middle of it.
how are things in that area?
Uh, about 30 minutes from my house, tornadoes touching down and stuff. Like
Oh wow.
it's not a bit, like we're just kind of like whatever because we're so used to this happening this time of year. But yeah,
Right.
it was nuts. There was a lot of damage done near Indianapolis and out, a little bit west of Indianapolis. They got it pretty bad. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it was
it is
crazy
what
too
it is.
because we got hit with storm, not like bad. They weren't like it was just like more just like a lot of rain and just like some thunder and stuff earlier in the day by us, and then that all cleared up. So I was thinking like, okay, everything's good, but then I didn't realize, oh, I got I'm not going to be in the same area. So then I got down there. It started off cold in Chicago, then it got like warmer down there, and then once I left Peoria, it was kind of like getting cooler again. I came back up here and it was back up to it was back to 40 degrees. So like the weather was just literally all over the
Yeah,
place.
it
It was
was a
crazy.
nuts, and it doesn't surprise me that they had traveling issues because I think there a lot of flights were like delayed or canceled, things like that. So,
Yeah, and
it,
someone texted me after they were going to come up. They live like south of that area, I think. So like they couldn't even make it because their area was just like hit so hard and like tornadoes and everything. So it was definitely, but like I mean they still got the show. I mean I think like other than Shelton, I don't think anyone else that was actually booked on there really missed anything
yeah, it
that I'm
seemed like
aware
it
of.
was pretty full. It seems like it was a pretty full show. Like it wasn't like that SmackDown and everyone was stuck in Saudi
Yeah.
Arabia and they had to use
Oh
all
my
the
God.
NXT call ups.
Right, which that it's so funny too because I remember that episode distinctly, and it was like it actually turned out to be a really cool episode.
Yeah, it
So
was actually
sometimes,
one of the best episodes of their show.
right?
All right. So anyway, guys, this awesome pod is the super abridged Dynamite recap from April 2nd, and as Michael just said, it was in Peoria, Illinois, at the Peoria Civic Center. And we started right off. We had Willow Nightingale and Swerve Strickland versus John Moxley and Marina Shafir. And this match was crazy. It was actually, as far as like, because I mean, a lot of this Death Rider stuff, I just don't like it. I don't care. But this match was actually a lot of fun. This served what I needed to see for a while from them, because I hadn't seen matches from Moxley that I really liked. And this one wasn't bad. This was okay.
Yeah,
What do you think?
this match was, I mean, it was a really fun match to watch. Like I watched it back on TV too, and same thing. Like obviously being there live, you're gonna enjoy it that much more, especially being up close to the action. I mean, right off the bat, like Moxley and Swerve were like beating the shit out of each other, like right in front of me. So like it was off to like a really great start. And like you said, like the Death Rider things, it's like I like all the characters involved. It's not that. I just feel like the direction, like, where the hell is this going? Like, he's hiding the belt from the world, carrying the briefcase, which I don't even think they even had with them tonight, if I'm correct. I'm not, I don't remember. But yeah, they're just carrying around a briefcase. So, like, I just don't understand. Like, it got off to, like, an interesting start. Back, I think this started, like, back in the summer, I think. So it's been kind of like there's moments where it's kind of interesting, but then it's just like, where is it going? But I'm kind
Yeah.
of excited. I feel like it's always really important to have like a good go home show before pay per view, and I feel like actually this show delivered as far as being like the go home.
Yeah, and it wasn't bad, and it got me pumped for Dynasty, which is what it needed to do, like you said.
Exactly.
So,
And they had
um,
like, it's funny too, because like sometimes like I'm kind of like indifferent, but like I always kind of feel like sometimes you gotta limit the contact between, especially like because like I assume this is going to be the main event for Swerve and Moxley, where like you want to sometimes kind of like limit the contact they have, but they had a lot of contact on this episode, as we'll get into later. Like they had a lot more contact, like even outside of this match.
yeah, and it was one of the things about this match that I really enjoyed was I wasn't expecting so much physicality between Moxley and Willow.
Yeah, and like just like the mixture of because what happened, it was Swerve that accidentally kicked Marina, and it was funny too at the end of the match, like after they got the pinfall, like Moxley's just kind of like stumbling around, like what the hell is he doing? And then
I
he
don't
got
match the face to the name.
got
Yeah,
the
usually he
beat.
wears a mask most of the time he's in here.
All right, well, Diana popped in here.
Hello.
Oh, hello, guys.
Hey, what's up?
Did you hear us chatting before we got in? I hope not.
Just
I
we
heard
didn't.
stuff where I was
Yeah,
like,
we didn't know what you said, so we.
Oh, okay, good. Our secrets are safe.
That's funny.
I thought for a
Um,
second it was like Gringo changing his voice, like he was doing like an imitation. I was like, oh wait, no.
Sorry, I didn't realize you brought us in.
Oh yeah, I couldn't warn you. So, no, we were talking about the Willow Swerve match, and how there was a lot of physicality between Willow Nightingale and John Moxley, which I didn't expect, and I don't think Michael did either.
Whoa, I haven't seen it yet. That sounds insane.
Yeah, like they were really like, I mean, it got real physical. I mean, she was beating the shit out of him. So
Fuck, you're gonna make me want to watch it.
yeah, you should
So
watch
tired
it.
of Moxley, but Willow beating the fuck out of him. I'm in.
Well, it's like I was telling Michael before you popped in. It basically like this is, how much I don't like the Death Rider stuff, but this match actually was a fun match. It was actually fun to watch.
How was
It
it
was-
in person, Michael?
It was. I mean, it was exciting. Like I said, like the match, like pretty much got started like right in front of me. So it was just like
Nice.
right
I
out
love
right
that
out the bat.
shit.
I'm just like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was just like just everything that happened in the match was like, I mean, like Ringo said, it was just like a really fun match, and like the physicality that I didn't expect. Talking about like sometimes you want to like limit physicality between two wrestlers that are about to have like a big pay-per-view match, but they had a lot of physicality. And not just even this match, like later on in the show too. So it was
Ooh, exciting.
Sounds badass.
Oh, I'm here with Heather,
Hi.
Oh, hey,
makeup
what's
artist
up?
who
Hello.
has appeared on the show before, and Joe Bob, even though he's being cranky and doesn't want to say anything. Say something, Joe Bob.
Hey guys.
Hey, what's up?
Talk about MJF.
What's going on?
guys.
You want me to mention MJF?
Yes,
Yeah,
go for
have
it.
at it.
Was MJF on the card?
He was. He had a
Was.
little
Oh.
spot with the Hurt Syndicate.
Ooh.
And was it? Did he have a brilliant session on the mic?
Session.
He's had better, but it wasn't bad. He was basically just kind of sucking up to him,
Whoa, new side of MJF.
Yeah, he
I
was.
don't know if it made it on TV, but when MJF he was like introducing himself again, and then right when he did that, he took his gum out of his mouth and he literally threw it at a guy that was like right in the front row, right by me.
Oh no, what a dick. Joe
All
Bob
right.
knows
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Was it on TV?
Yeah,
I want to say it was, but like I don't know if you could tell, like, because I think you could tell, you can see him take it out of his mouth, but then like he kind of just tossed it. But then
yeah,
I don't think you could see like where it went.
yeah.
They
You
need to fuck
could
up
see.
so much with that. Like, there's so much cool stuff you see in person that you don't get to see on TV.
Well,
I
the
don't
thing
get it.
is too,
That's
it's
why
just
you
like they
gotta see
probably
what
have
you
no
want.
idea he was gonna do it too, so they're not like, he probably was like, hey, I'm gonna throw my gum at this guy.
I
Just does it.
mean,
I don't think
that's,
he tells them what he does hardly ever.
well, whatever. They still should have caught it.
Yeah,
You should have.
one job.
You should have done the
One
mis.
job.
Film the
Camera
gum. God,
Can't
how hard
let
is
those
it?
Fail, but also running to eBay.
Ew, who's buying MJF's gum on eBay?
Somebody's got a weird kink out there. You already know.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen
Somebody's buying
Shatner's.
it.
I've seen Shatner's toupee on
Michael,
there.
just chew up some gum and say it's MJF's. No one will know. I caught that shit. What?
I kind of
Watermelon
got footage
flavor.
of it too. So if he puts up on eBay, I can put the footage like in his
Oh my
listing.
God,
Right?
post the footage. I want to
See,
see
look,
it.
he threw it. He threw it.
That's amazing.
So what you're saying is that you were better than the actual photographer there. This is what I'm hearing.
That's funny.
All right, you guys, we have to work, but I wanted to just thank you guys both because I know Johnny is not feeling good, and I promised to be here this week, but I lied because Joe Bob's awful. So he didn't
Oh,
let me
that's
watch
not.
it or do it live.
That's funny. That's
But
probably
I'll be
not
back
true.
after the pay-per-view.
Me?
Yes, you made me work this week. What's wrong with you?
Oh.
The audacity,
The
JB.
audacity.
That's
But you
funny.
guys, thank you for picking up the slack, and I can't wait to listen to hear all about what I missed.
Word up. All right, you guys take it easy and have a fun day.
All right,
See you
thank you
guys.
guys. Bye.
All right, take care. Bye.
Namaste, AEW.
Word. All right. So now that we got through that first match, well, we have to say actually, there's something to say about it because at the end of the match, it was Willow that actually got the win over Moxley, wasn't it?
I think so because from what I remember, Willow put Moxley through the table. And was it a submission on Marina? Or was it oh no, I think it was like she did like a slam. I don't know if
It
that's
was
what
like a
was
weird
was
like sit out power bomb is
I
what
don't
I'm
know, like
remembering.
I'm so bad with people's finishers nowadays, like because I feel because like everybody kicks out of everybody's finishers now anyway, so it's just like what is a finisher now anyway?
Yeah, I know,
But
right?
yeah, but like I think so if I remember correctly, it was a pinfall actually, and then after the pinfall, Moxley, like I said, like he came back into the ring, kind of, and he was like stumbling like behind him. I don't know how I can't remember how it came across on TV, but he's just kind of like stumbling, kind of like and then like also just like grabs her to because I don't know if we covered earlier in the match, Swerve went for a kick, I think on Moxley, he ducked and then kicked Marina, so
Yeah.
that was like a revenge for that when he double arm DDT'd. Because
Yeah.
what's the name? There's a name. He has a name for it. It's not the double arm DDT. It is.
He used to call it the it used to be called the Dirty Deeds, but I don't know what he
Yes.
calls it now.
Yeah, it's something. I feel like it's something else, but I honestly don't remember.
Yeah, I think he just calls it a DDT now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so yeah, so what happened? Now I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking clearly about it. So Willow ended up beating Marina, and it was basically just a oh god, what was it she used? I'm trying to think. She power bombed her basically, and then got the pitfall. It was like a power bomb cover combination. But yeah, and that's when like and they started celebrating. Nana was dancing around, and Swerve was on the top rope with his back turned, and Moxley kind of just weirdly just rolls in the ring, just kind of confused, and he backs into Willow, and then he gives her that DDT and nails her, and then they're like selling that thing like it was like Jake the Snake Roberts did it, where I'm like, no, that didn't even look like a really devastating DDT. That just looked like some randos just random DDT.
And actually, I just went back to my footage, so it was kind of like I feel like correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like Test used to kind of like do this power bomb move that she did to her at the end. It seemed if it wasn't Test, I feel like it was somebody's like finisher or someone.
Yeah, it did look. Yeah, it looked familiar. I just don't remember exactly what it was. That's aging.
Yeah, and actually, you know what? I'm actually wrong because I think actually Test's was a pump handle slam.
Yeah, he did
So,
the pump handle slam.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what it was. So yeah, it kind of looks similar.
but yeah, but yeah, at the end of it, Taz like, oh, she hit really hard. They're trying to oversell it and stuff, and I'm like, well, whatever. It's fine. So next up, we have this little thing where Renee's backstage with Dax and Cash, and Dax is like apologizing up and down to the referee, to Paul Turner. He said, oh, and he's like, I got fined this money, but I asked Tony Khan if I could come and bring you the check myself and just give that money directly to you. And the referee was like, sure, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And he apologized to him, like Dax, like, just how you would think he would do. And then he like starts talking to Cash, and he's like, we're going to have to, put this aside. We've been through so much. We're brothers, that kind of thing. And told him he didn't push him on purpose back on Collision, which I don't think he did. But when he went to hug him, Cash is like, you know what, man, like we're brothers and everything, and we'll be all right. But we're gonna have to talk after the pay-per-view or whatever. And I'm like, okay. And you know what, dude? You know what this is? Did they show this at the show?
Yeah, and actually, I kind of remember this too. And actually, one question I have is, so like usually if you get fined by the company, you pay the company and the company receives the money. But like he gave the check to the referee, and he's kind of indicated. So the like in the story, like did the referee actually get to keep that money as opposed to it going to the company? I mean, which is
Oh,
awesome.
I doubt it.
That's great for the referee, but because he literally said like, oh, go have nice dinner with this $10,000, have like the most expensive dinner you can find.
Yeah,
Go
it's
out
like,
and like go out to like New York, Manhattan, find the most expensive restaurant. I'm sure you could blow
yeah,
all that in
no,
one sitting.
you could always blow it on hookers and weed. I mean, you
Hey,
know.
thanks.
No, dude. So honestly though, like usually, yeah, the checks would just go, but he did say, I went to Tony and I asked him if it was okay if I just gave you the money instead, and he said okay. And I'm like, all right, well, that makes sense, I
Yeah,
guess.
because Tony's drowning in money anyway. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh boy. So yeah, so what I think is going to happen here, and Johnny had said this too, we're going to get an FTR heel turn at the pay-per-view. They're going to turn on Cope and they're going to beat the shit out of him, and we're going to get a heel
So
turn.
you think, yeah? So that was what I was kind of wondering. Like, are we witnessing like an FTR breakup, or I wasn't even thinking like it'll be them that could.
No,
turn on
they're gonna.
Cope.
It's a heel turn for FTR, and they need it badly because they're not gonna split those guys up.
Yeah, because honestly, like I feel like I mean they were. I mean there was a point where like they were red hot. Like the crowds were like popping like crazy. Like when they come out, I feel like it was kind of like the same kind of situation with the Acclaim. Like they were red hot for like a long time, and then obviously they broke them up now. But which I guess this is kind of like the same. Well, I guess I guess they'll stay together because they were heels before, right? I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they've been heels, they've been faces. I think the Revival were heels at one point.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then
It's so funny too because it's like it's been so long now. You forget, like, oh yeah, they were in WWE. They were on the main roster too. Like,
yeah, like shortly, yeah, because even
it's
Seth Rollins put him over at one point in a promo. Because he one time he was just like, look, people are being underutilized. These super talented people like the Revival, and I was like, and I popped for that because I liked him in NXT.
yeah.
But yeah, so they've been faces and heels and faces. I think mostly face, but yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, ever since they went to that nostalgic '80s music, I feel like that kind of really helped them get over too. That music was very, still is very catchy.
Yeah. Okay. So we hear. I don't know if you heard this, but Jay White's injured. And
Yeah. Was he interviewed on Dynamite, or am I thinking something else?
no, he wasn't interviewed. They
Okay.
just said it.
Oh,
They were
and
just
then
like,
I
oh
guess
yeah.
I don't know if this was mentioned. Apparently Orange Cassidy is injured now too.
Oh geez.
Yeah.
Well, and that was going to be my one of my things about this tournament bracket. So I'm glad you said something.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because I guess because he's not in the tournament.
Yeah. So first off, we get the tournament brackets for the women's Owen Hart Foundation tournament, and the final for this tournament is going to be a Double or Nothing. But they also announced that these some of these matches are going to be at AEW Dynasty this Sunday. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The brackets are weird though, man. We first off on the first side of the bracket we have Jamie Hayter and Billy Starks, which kind of makes sense considering they had just had their match. I think Billy Starks is going over on that one. I think they're going to put her over.
Yeah, I think there's some stuff I've missed like on Collision and maybe a couple things on Dynamite, but like she kind of because she was on ROH first, right?
Yeah.
I know. Obviously, I know she like had her like indie stuff too, but she seems to like really like they seem to be like really pushing her, and she like she has like a good look. I can't like really speak for her in ring. Her in ring ability because I feel like I haven't like really even seen a lot of that.
Yeah.
And then like I saw the stuff with her and Mercedes where what's so insane is I don't know if you saw there's a picture that she took at an autograph signing back when she was Sasha. This was like 10 years ago and I was at that autograph signing too and she was there. And
Oh,
it's
okay.
crazy because it was like because I saw the picture immediately I was like holy shit. And it was at the Arnold Classic back in 2015.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, because NXT used to do like a partnership with them and they would do like it'd be like a little like if you remember like WrestleMania Access, it's now the World. It was almost kind of like a
Oh
mini
yeah.
version of that. It was
Hmm.
really cool actually. Because like I mean all like I remember I got to meet Finn. Like I got to meet the entire roster that day. It was awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
Now they're all like main event because like Finn was there, Kevin Owens, Enzo Kaz, like amongst everyone else. I mean shit. Like Neville was there. Now he's in AEW. So it's like it's crazy to see like where all these guys have gone now.
Yeah, yeah, because it doesn't even seem like it was that long ago.
Yeah, I know. It's like it feels like yesterday. Now it's here we are 10 years later.
So yeah, but anyway, Billy Starks, she's like 20 years old. She's they kind of treating her like she's a prodigy. She's very good. She's super nice, and I really like her. I've talked to her several times. She's really, really super cool person. I honestly, I think she still needs a little more work. Not that she's bad and that she can't do the work. I think she just needs more time to just get used to being on TV.
Yeah,
And
you just said she's 20 years old. I mean, my
yeah,
God, I
she's
mean,
like 20. Yeah.
there's a lot of time. And if you're telling me she's already as good as she is, I mean, wait, like when she's 25, she could be.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
she'll be fantastic as long as she doesn't get hurt.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, obviously that comes with the job, but
Yeah, but
it's.
she's solid. She's just like I said. I think she's just not exactly used to being on national TV yet.
Mhm.
And I think the more exposure she gets to that, the better she's gonna get.
Yeah, and it's crazy too because like I almost feel like I've had to have seen her like in an indie show at some point. I can't remember like distinctly, but I've heard her name mentioned. I've seen pictures of her on like Twitter or whatever so many times. So like obviously like when you hear it, kind of like reminds me back like when because God if I because like living in Chicago, like I wish I can go back and like go back to like Punk's indie shows
Oh yeah,
and like but like I would always hear the name CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk way before he even made it to WWE, and then so it's kind of like similar to that, like you hear the name so much, so it's just like when you hear it that much, it's like, oh, there's definitely something here.
exactly. Yeah, and that makes perfect sense. Oh boy. Okay, so on the other under that, this is going to be an interesting match, and we kind of knew this was probably going to happen. Thunder Rosa versus Chris Statlander. Now I see Chris Statlander going over on that match.
So actually, that match did not happen.
No, this is for the tournament.
Oh, the turn. Oh, right. I thought
Yeah,
we were
yeah.
going. I was like, wait a minute. I don't think
No,
that.
no, I'm still
I was
going
like,
over the
wait a minute.
tournament brackets. Yeah, so Thunder Rosa, Chris Statlander. I think Chris Statlander is going to go over, and then I think Billy Starks and Chris Statlander are going to have a match, which will be interesting.
Yeah.
The other side, we have Julia Hart and Mercedes in the first round, which I think that's an interesting match that we probably wouldn't have seen otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Harley Cameron versus Athena, which poor Harley Cameron, dude. That's like she's cannon fodder for Athena.
Yeah, and it's funny too because we got Collision. I won't spoil anything, but we got that. We got
That
those last
tag
two
team
matches
match.
as a tag team match. It was a fun match. I won't lie. Sometimes like when they do like these tapings that like because like this taping probably went because like we got there. I got there at like probably like 6 o'clock, and then that taping went till like 11 o'clock at night, and then of
Oh
course the
wow.
2 hour drive back. I sometimes can be a little bit tired during the Collision taping.
I bet.
Especially without like, because I could have gone home after just that Dynamite, I would have been satisfied. But then I was like, oh, I want to get my money's worth here, so I want to see what happens here in Collision too. But my energy was definitely drained during Collision though.
So without spoiling anything, is Collision a really good go home Collision for the pay-per-view?
It was like okay. I wouldn't compare it to Dynamite. Dynamite was definitely like for a go home Dynamite, it was amazing. For a go home Collision, I mean the tag match was like good. There was like some comedic spots. Like I said, I won't like spoil anything. Um, I got to see Speedball wrestle. Who did he wrestle again? I can't remember now. I've always been very high on Speedball. Um, Going back to because I was going to like Impact a lot the last couple of years. So
Okay.
I was kind of like seeing him a lot there. Um, my God, I can't remember who he wrestled.
Yeah,
He wrestled. I can't remember. He looks like Sin Cara, but it's not Sin Cara. I don't like
oh,
some.
was it
Yeah,
it wasn't like Dralistico or anything, was it?
maybe.
Okay.
I honestly don't know. And he was with somebody else. Oh, the guy that looks like he looks like a bull.
Oh, the Beast Mordos.
Yeah.
The best
He was.
wrestler in AEW.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And we do get some Max Caster on Collision too.
Oh boy.
I did not bother to do his little chant.
Oh, I would have done it. I love Max Caster. I think he's freaking spectacular.
Yeah.
All right. So, and we're going to move on over to the other bracket real quick and run through that super quick. In the first round, so Kevin Knight is in this tournament because he's replacing Jay White.
Okay.
So
And I really like him like this because he just came from New Japan, correct?
Yeah, he sure did.
So we got him. Well, I think that happens later on the show, so I'll cover it more on there. But
yeah, so this was
very, very good, great first impression he made on me. So
yeah, he's really good. He was really good on when he had his match against Jay White last time on, I think, Collision. So this match was supposed to be Will Ospreay versus Jay White, which would have been spectacular.
Oh yeah.
But now it's Will Ospreay versus Kevin Knight, and I still think it'll be pretty spectacular.
Oh yeah. I mean, from what I saw in the tag match, it's like
cool. Yeah, the tag match was spectacular, and we'll go over that in just a sec. Brody King and Konosuke Takeshita are going to fight each other, which I think that match is going to be fun. I mean, we've seen it before. I think during the Continental Classic.
Okay.
I believe that's where we've seen it, but both guys, big guys, can both work. Brody's awesome. Takeshita's awesome. So that's a really good booked match. The other side, we have Mark Briscoe and Kyle Fletcher, which another solid matchup, which we've seen before during Continental Classic. I believe. But that'll be a good match. And finally, Hangman Page against the Wild Card. So my question to you, who do you think is the wild card? I have a pretty good idea as to who the wild card is.
Honestly, I didn't even realize there was a wild card in this bracket until you said that. So man, I couldn't even
it's gonna be the dude they just signed from TNA, Alexander. The big dude. The dude that wears the things over his ears. Josh Alexander.
Oh, okay. Walking Weapon. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's Josh Alexander.
Okay.
Because anytime they do a wild card at a tournament or something, it's always some new guy that they signed. So yeah, I'm going with Josh Alexander on that but he's not gonna win. I really don't think Josh Alexander should go over on Adam Page.
Yeah, he had, was it like at least 1 or 2 reigns with the TNA championship. So I mean, it'll like I feel like that Adam Page is the homegrown talent there, so I don't think they would. But like, I mean, who knows? I mean, they might want to try to make a good impression with him. He was just more of like not to say he didn't do it for me. Like, he was a great worker. It'll be interesting to see if he'll just kind of like remain in his like same gimmick, or if they'll maybe like add a little.
He'll be the
more
same.
Spice.
He'll be the same. Yeah. I think just like Speedball, he'll be the same, at least at first.
Yeah, because they haven't. I mean, look at Ricochet. Like, he started off the same at first, and I'll look at where he's at now.
Yeah, he's changed quite a bit for the best. Honestly.
Was Ricochet ever heel on the Indies before?
I don't think so. I don't remember when he was Prince Puma if he was ever a heel.
Okay.
That'd be a question for my friend Turtleneck. He'd know exactly. But yeah, like Adam Page needs to go to the finals of this tournament. I just think that's how it needs to be booked. Because we all know Will Ospreay is going to take the entire tournament. But unless they have Josh Alexander go over on him and it starts a monster feud between the two, that's the only way that it's going to work.
Yeah, and you know what? It's like, like, I feel like we kind of have a feeling like where it's going to go, but at the same time, you just never know. So that's what kind of makes it interesting, because it's like, if it's kind of like but if you almost kind of like question it, it makes it that much more interesting.
Yeah,
because you don't know.
And AEW has a tendency of like really like changing it up for my expectations. So it's really hard to really gauge what they're gonna do sometimes.
And now, like, especially with WWE now, it's just like they're really good at just like swerving the shit out of you.
No offense, Swerve.
Yeah, I mean, look at John Cena. Wouldn't have seen that in a million years.
I know. We all thought it was going to be CM Punk.
Yeah.
All right. So we're in the back now. Let me see. Mercedes finds out that she's teaming up with Harley Cameron, which we were talking about earlier. Much to her chagrin, Harley shows up with the puppet and does the little bit. It was really funny. I enjoyed that. I'm assuming the puppet's going to come into play during that match too, when they have their tag match.
To spoil it, yeah, it will.
Yeah. And now we finally have another match. So it's Toni Storm versus Penelope Ford. And this match was pretty good. I mean, Penelope Ford is a hell of a lot better than people give her credit.
Yeah, and it's funny too because with Penelope Ford, like she's been there for the longest time, and I don't know like if there was like an injury or whatever happened, but like up until like recently, I feel like she just hasn't been like utilized on
Oh
TV.
yeah, she
And
was injured for a
I
while.
always, yeah, so like that's what I assumed it was, but like I always felt like she had like a good, like great look to her, like great talent, and then like this match that she had against Toni Storm, like really, really great match. And then that segment they did on Collision last Saturday, where they did that like zoom in and then she like kicked her in the face and then she's in the frame. That was excellent. So I'm glad that she's finally starting to kind of start to break through now because like I said, I mean she's been there for like I mean damn like I dare say since the beginning of the company maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty close. Yeah, pretty close. Because wasn't she with Kip Sabian or something for a while?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I think they're together in real life. So
Yeah, well, that makes sense then.
yeah.
Um, this match was really good. It's a nice back and forth. There was a really funny spot. Like Penelope Ford always goes to lick people,
Yeah.
and then Tony bit her tongue, dude. That was funny as shit.
Yeah, they're just like I was like
That was
I didn't
really
even
good.
realize that's like why that happened because I saw that like they were like biting tongues, but I didn't realize that it was because she was trying to lick her. Okay, so now that
Yeah,
makes
she always like
sense.
tries to lick people on the face, and Tony Storm
I
just
just
like,
didn't know what the fuck was happening. I'm like, oh, this is different.
yeah, it was pretty funny. But yeah, so the match ends with Storm 0. Let's see, and then she picks up the win with that, and then Megan Bain comes out on the ramp and has a sarcastic clap or whatever.
Mhm.
So sure. This match coming up between Megan Bain and Toni Storm at Dynasty this weekend. There's really differing opinions because part of me thinks that they want Toni Storm to keep that title for a while since she just got it back. But then part of me is like, I don't know. Megan Bain might actually do it. I know that I don't think Diana and Johnny think that Megan Bain's going to win. And really, honestly, I don't think she's going to win either. But they've got me thinking, and that's good. So
Yeah,
what
and
do you
like
think?
I'm really high on Megan Bain. I know like I kind of vaguely remember when they were utilizing her on the old AEW Dark, but that's like I barely have any memory of that. But then the first time I really saw her was at House of Glory in Chicago last year. She had a really great match with Kylie Ray, and then they brought her to another indie promotion here recently called CSW. She wrestled a local talent here named Missa Kate, and they had like a really great match. And I got to meet and talk with her for a little bit after the show, and she's a really cool person. So and then not too long after that, she was signed to AEW. So I'm like, okay, this is awesome. And then her look just fantastic, like literally like a Greek goddess.
Yeah, she like we were talking about too. Like everyone says she's so tall, but she's only like 5'8" or something. She's not as
Mhm.
tall as she's. I mean, she's pretty tall for a women's wrestler, I
Yeah,
guess.
it's funny too because like Rhea Ripley, for example, she looks so tall on TV because she's taller than most of the women. But like when you see her in person, she's literally like we're like literally the same height. And I was just like, whoa, you're actually like I mean she's tall, but like that like we're like I said, we're kind of like almost basically like the same height. So it's like, oh shit, like you just look like so tall on TV.
Yeah, it's when I first saw her, I was like, because my friends were always telling me, "Oh yeah, Megan Bain, she's like crazy," and I saw her, and I was like, "Okay," it's like she didn't look that because first time I was at the show when she debuted during the Casino Gauntlet
Okay.
match. I was there in the front row, and I was like, "Okay, she looks cool, but she doesn't look as big as what everyone was telling me."
Maybe it's the thing she wears on her head that makes her look.
Well, that you know what? Okay, so tell me something. You were in Peoria. Were there any pigeons in Peoria?
Any pigeons?
Yeah,
Like
like
actual
real pigeons. Did you see any?
not that I remember.
Want
Like
to know
I
why? Want to know why? Because they all are on her freaking headdress.
I was, you know what was funny too? Like, I was almost gonna think, like, were you gonna make like a Taz joke? Does Taz say something on commentary? Because he used to
No,
say,
no. I just
what
was
was it?
looking.
What do you? He used to say pigeons was something. I think wasn't it with like Velvet Sky? But that was like back in TNA, I think. I
Oh,
don't know.
maybe something like that.
I was
Yeah,
just, wait, pigeons?
yeah.
Like,
I
we're
was
talking
thinking.
actual pigeons, or is this some kind of joke?
No, I was looking at her headdress. I'm like, yeah, it looks like there's no pigeons in Peoria. She used the ball for
Okay.
her headwear. Bad joke, but that's okay. So next up, we had the Hurt Syndicate come out to the ring. Bobby Lash is getting ready to say something, and MJF interrupts him and really ticks him off. The look on his face on TV, I was like, oh, that's not good.
Yeah, I like the dynamic with this. I think it'd be interesting if they join forces, but then obviously there's the rift with him and Lashley. I think Shelton feels the same. I don't know what he would have played in this role if he was actually there. Probably just would have added to it.
So
But
yeah, go ahead.
oh yeah, but yeah, like I'd be down to see him like join them, but then there could be some sort of rift like after they join or whatever, because obviously, because I feel like MVP is kind of like more down to have him, obviously. Um, but I think it's a very interesting dynamic. So I'm kind of interested to see like where it goes from here.
So we have this match, and I think that they've announced this match for Dynasty now between uh, Keith, Brian Keith, and Big Bill against the Hurt Syndicate for the tag titles. I think that's what they said it was at the pay-per-view. There's one of two things that's going to happen here with MJF. One, he's going to come out and interfere and help them win, which is going to piss Lashley off because like, I don't need your help.
Yeah.
Or he's going to come down to the, I guess one of three things. The other thing could be he's going to come down to the ring and try to help, and it's going to cost them the tag titles, and then
Which will also piss Lashley off.
yes, and then that will be like start their feud too. Or the third thing is he's just going to come down to the ring and just cost them the titles. He's like going to like trip up Lashley or do something to him that's going to allow Brian Keith and Big Bill to win those tag titles. So we got those three possible scenarios right there. All of them are going to piss Bobby Lashley off.
Yeah. He's not going to be happy either anyway with those scenarios possible.
Yeah, but Lashley's out there and he's like, let's be clear, because like MJF, he's saying, oh, I respect MVP and I respect, I love Shelton and and I respect you. Everyone knows Bobby Lashley. He's huge and in the industry or whatever he says. And Lashley's like, you know what? I'm not gonna basically destroy you here because of respect for MVP. He goes, and I don't like you and I don't trust you and we don't need you. So he's like, unless you prove otherwise. And that was where the light bulb went off in my head. I was like, he's going to try to prove that he is needed in that group and he's going to try to help them win. And he's going to cost them the titles.
Yeah.
Or they're going to let it cook for a while and they're going to let him actually help them win. You know what I mean? Like I was saying, and that's going to piss them off. We don't need you.
Yeah. So it's there's definitely I'd say any of those scenarios would honestly be like there'd be interesting stuff with any of those scenarios. So
yeah, because I think eventually we're going to see MJF and Bobby Lashley probably at All In. That's my guess.
Okay,
that's how they're going to cook this. So after the match, they're in the Lashley and MVP are in the ring, and then Big Bill and Brian Keith show up because they're getting ready to have a match and they put out a chair. They're like, here, sit here and watch us destroy these guys. And Lashley's like, I don't need to. And he just kicks the chair to the side. And then Big Bill and Brian Keith go in and just decimate these two local guys. Mm-hmm. It was like cannon fodder.
Yeah, I don't know the names, but I feel like I've seen these guys somewhere. They got to be like Chicago talent or something.
Oh, I'm sure. And they didn't even like give them their names on TV.
Yeah, they were just like it was funny. I didn't even see them come out because they had like stuff going on the ramp when Big Bill and Brian Keith came out. So like once they were in the ring, they got into the ring. They were already in there. So I have no idea where they came from.
Yeah, it was weird. And those guys, like they were like the smallest guys they could find just to make Big Bill look even bigger than he already is.
By design.
Like you could have had anybody out there and they would have looked small compared to him. But all right, so next up, Renee's backstage with Mercedes, and I'm not sure if I went over this already, but she's going to be facing Julia Hart this Sunday in the first round of the Owen. And she says, it's going to take a lot more than tricks and spells to stop me. Okay, I was like, sure, that match is going to be fun. Honestly, I hope Julia Hart beats her, but I think we're going to get Mercedes and Athena in that tournament.
I'm on the same page with you on that. So
yeah, that match has to happen. All right. So next up, we have another match. So we have Will Ospreay and the Jet Kevin Knight versus the weirdest guy on their roster, Blake Christian. What a weirdo. I was telling Johnny last week, he looks like the guy that used to live down the street from me that drove the IROC and had a Camaro mullet. Like
I've seen Blake Christian a lot. I know I've seen him in GCW. I think that's mostly where I've seen him, and a couple like probably other indie shows here and there in Chicago. I'm really I don't know how he's got the ice cream on his what do you call it, the Titantron.
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting. And then I never saw his robe before. I think it's the Vanilla Baby.
Yeah, Vanilla Baby. I'm like, what in the world? This guy's a weirdo.
And I feel so bad. I always forget the other guy. The other guy who was with. I know who he is. I always forget his name.
Oh, Lee Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's with Julia Hart in real life.
Is he? Okay.
If I'm not mistaken.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, like Lee Johnson, even though he doesn't get as much hype as Blake Christian, he's still pretty damn good. And
he's been around too. I know, like for a while. I just don't feel like I see him a lot, so I can't I don't really have a lot of input.
Yeah, well, and as weird as Blake Christian is, he is equally awesome in the ring. Like, this
and
guy,
that's the thing too. Like in the
crazy.
ring, it's actually really good. So
yeah, it's a lot of fun, and he got a lot of offense on Ospreay in this match, a hell of a lot more than I thought he was going to get. But that's Ospreay. He likes to give people the venue to show off what they can do. So
yeah.
This was a good match.
It was anything honestly, dude, anything that Ospreay's involved in is gonna be gold. I was gonna say too when Mike Bailey debuted on AEW right away, I went online. I'm like, they got to run back him and Ospreay. They had an amazing match at Bound for Glory 2 years ago, and they could definitely tear down the house again. So it's just there's so many different matches that he hasn't had yet in AEW that will tear the house down.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
I mean, just the stuff he just came off with Kyle Fletcher. I mean, my God.
And this match between Ospreay and Kevin Knight in the first round of that tournament is going to be amazing.
And especially seeing what he did in that match was very impressive. Like I tagged him on his entrance on Instagram. He messaged me back saying thank you. So
that's cool.
That was really cool. So
that's really cool. All right, so now for some reason, the ops are backstage. Samoa Joe's they're cutting a promo, and he's saying, we're going to be at Dynasty, and we're going to be watching and seeing all, and please don't let us catch you lacking. Okay, so isn't that what they did at Revolution? They were just kind of sitting in the crowd watching all the matches?
I honestly don't even remember.
Yeah, they were.
I kind of vaguely remember now. They were kind of weren't they up in a suite somewhere? I think.
Yeah, they were up in one of the boxes, and they were just kept cutting to them watching. Now, they must have some big plans for them if that's what they're doing, because they're kind of showing them all the time doing stuff like this. And Samoa Joe, I read this yesterday. Samoa Joe says that this contract he has with AEW right now is his last. He's going to retire.
Oh, wow. Okay. Do we know how long this contract goes till?
I don't know that offhand. But yeah, so that's what the rumor mill is that.
And I feel like he hasn't been because I know, I mean, man, I almost forget. I mean, he was champion for a little while. I think that's when he dropped the title to MJF, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So since then, I feel like he's kind of been maybe dealing an injury or something.
Well, he's been on that TV show. He's been on that Sweet Tooth show.
Okay. So
on Peacock. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and they were doing season 2, so he was gone for a while because of that.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. But sure, they're going to be watching everybody and seeing all, and okay, sure, bro, let's see what happens. Now, all three of these guys, Hook's pretty fun to watch. Samoa Joe's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time.
I mean,
Shibata's great. So, I mean, but what do they have planned? And there's so much that could happen here. But who knows?
Shibata's still doing that. He's the one where he does that gimmick where he he uses the phone to talk.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
translator.
Is he still doing that?
He does do that occasionally. Yeah, usually he
Yeah.
just has the phone and he's recording them.
Yeah, I love that.
It's pretty funny. Like, it's a really nice way to get past that language barrier.
Yeah.
It was a really really smart way to do it. So
Yeah.
all right, so now we have another match. We have the Hounds of Hell's Brody King versus one of my favorite wrestlers on the AEW, probably my top 3, the Murder Hawk monster, Lance Archer. This match was just 2 big guys just beating the hell out of each other.
Yeah, seeing like 2, like especially like up close in front of you, it's like it's a scene, man. It's like just because it's like you almost like not to use the term fear for your life, but it's like oh shit, these dudes are big. Don't do any damage around me.
Yeah, and I always tell them on when the others are on the pod, when Johnny and Diana here, that like my kids, like they are not wrestling fans. They could give 2 shits about wrestling. And I took my youngest to go see Dynamite, and he absolutely loved Brody King.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh, that guy's really cool."
And now with like the House of Black being like done pretty much, I'm really excited to see like now in this like singles role, like what he'll be doing. And he's been kind of like, honestly, he's been kind of doing like singles stuff a lot even before that. But now he's kind of like fully like off on his own now. So it'll be interesting to see like now where he like proceeds to go.
Yeah, and I think he's one of the most criminally underrated talents in wrestling, because people just kind of see him. They're like, "Oh, okay." But I think what they should be looking at him being like, "Oh, holy shit."
Yeah, I mean the shit him and Darby were doing before. I mean, man.
Dude, he's just an all-around good worker. He sells shit. He makes moves mean something when he does them to people. He can go against small guys. He can go against the large guys, as we just saw in this match. Like, he's just an all-around good worker. And I think that people need to give him his laurels for that.
Dude, hell yeah. And I mean, he definitely got a chance to feature that on Wednesday. So
right. And as we say that, the fans were chanting "Fight forever, fight forever." That was really good. Looks like Brody, he just hit him with a lariat and then pinned Archer. I was kind of like, oh damn, because I love Archer so much, but it was cool. And it's basically just kind of a precursor because of Brody King getting ready to fight Takeshita in that tournament. And I think they needed Don Callis people to show up and like kind of, feed him that way. And I think they even said that in the commentary too. They were like, because Don Callis was out there, doing Don Callis stuff. And he was just like, yeah, he needs work. Every time he hits him, it helps out Takeshita. And I'm like, okay, well, that makes sense, but whatever.
I was gonna say, I love all these people that are like dressing up like Don Callis now, just showing up at shows.
God, what was it that Shivani said something on commentary? It was either him or Taz. They were talking about Callis, and I think it might have been Taz who said, I hope Don Callis gets hit by a bus. I popped for that. I was like, that's really funny. When you have so much heat, even the announcers are hating you. That's pretty fun.
It's so crazy. Like, I had no idea for the longest time that he was the freaking Jackal when he was in WWE.
Oh yeah,
I had no idea he was in WWE. Like, I knew who that was
or whatever.
I had no idea that was the same guy. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, with the long hair, because he doesn't have any now.
And what was really crazy was when they first put the acolytes together, he was like managing them for like a cup of coffee, and then I think he was gone from the company after that.
Yeah,
and I think that's when they went to the Ministry of Darkness after that. But like a split second, he was like managing them. I was like, what?
Yeah, because it was the Truth Commission. It was like one guy named Recon, and there was like I can't remember the other guy. And then they had Kurgan, who was like with him too there for a while before he was in the Oddities. But yeah, so like the crowd's chanting, and they're going off, about all kinds of stuff. But they keep saying meat, do the meat chants, and then they start going meat forever, right? And the problem with meat forever is that it's gonna spoil, and then you're gonna stink. So if these guys go an hour long in a match, they're gonna need some Mando. Michael, I don't know if you've used Mando, but it's good shit, right?
Okay.
I've said several times that I've replaced a lot of my old deodorants because of Mando. It works awesomely. They say it's clinically proven to block and control odor for up to 72 hours. Well, that is not a lie. It does. Probably more so if you cake yourself in it. If you just fill the bathtub full of Mando, you probably smell like that for about a month and a half. All products by Mando are baking soda free and paraben free, whatever the hell paraben is. I still don't know. Didn't look it up. They have a few pretty decent scents like Bourbon Leather, Clover Woods, and Mount Fuji, and Pro Sport. Mando starter pack is perfect for new customers. Comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, which are rad as fuck, by the way, and free shipping to top it off. As a special offer, I got to do this like a commercial guy. That's a special offer for listeners. New customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code AEW. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack. That code again, everyone, is AEW. Use it at shopmando.com. That is shopmando.com. Please support our show. Tell them that we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe with Mando. Oh my God, that's a long spot.
Man, you described that. You described that so well. I feel like I could actually smell it in my head, and it smells really good.
It's not bad. It really, like, I'm not just like pulling your leg. It actually is pretty good stuff. You know what? And I don't know. I didn't do this either, so we're gonna go ahead and get this out of the way too. Since this episode is bridged as fuck, and we have to move fast. But I'll tell you what, you don't have to move fast when you take your time when it comes to prize picks. Where you have to, I'm sorry, I have to do these both because I forgot. Whatever, like you pick which one. On Prize Picks, you can pick whichever one is relevant. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. So that's cool. Sign up today, get $50 instantly when you play $5. All you have to do is use our code CCN to make that shit happen. Hockey's in full force. Baseball season just started. There are plenty of ways to play. So when you are done listening to us, hop right on there and check it out. Prize Picks, run your game. Okay, I got through that. Now we can move on to our main event of the night. We had Adam Copeland, the Copester, against the World Trios champion, member of the Death Riders, Claudio Castagnoli. That is Diana's favorite wrestler of all time. Just saying. She's going to kill me after she heard me say that. So this match was good, man. I don't know how it was live, but on TV, it was just a really good back and forth match. There was a little bit of fuckery going on. Claudio grabbed some steel chairs, was going to set him up for a concerto. And then the ref pulled stuff away. And then there was that spot. It was total heel spot where Cope hits Claudio with the low blow. The ref didn't even see it. And then he spears him and gets the victory. How was this match for you live?
I mean, it was awesome. It's like, it's funny too, because it's like, oh, these guys were in WWE. So I was like, they had to have wrestled before, but then I realized they didn't, because they were like literally, because like Edge left in WWE in 2011. And then I think when did Cesaro come into WWE? Like 2012, something like that. And
Oh,
I'm trying to
God,
think,
yeah.
maybe they did actually wrestle, like, because he was still, I keep forgetting he was actually in WWE still when he came back in 2020.
Mhm.
So maybe there was some sort of match that they had maybe during that time period, and then like during like the COVID era, the Thunderdome era. But it was like really awesome to see, because it kind of gave me like nostalgic vibes. Obviously with Edge, Cope now, and then with Cesaro, Claudio now. But it was just, it was like they had just like an excellent match. I mean, my God, that power slam on the ring apron,
Oh,
that was
God.
like right in front of me, like, dear Lord.
Yeah,
Like
that was nasty.
that was rough. And then like the spear on to the outside of the ring. I was doing the "You Still Got It" chant when they started doing that chant, because like Edge could like Cope can still go, and it's awesome. I love to see it.
And the cool thing about it too is, and you know, and like I said, much to Diana's chagrin on this, Claudio is one of the best workers in the business. There's not much he can't do. The guy's strong as a freaking ox, and he's just, he can work with anybody. He can make everybody look good, and he looks good while he does it. And that is a testament to his abilities. This, between these two guys, between Cope and, this was just a match where it was booked and you knew it was gonna be a banger. just right off the bat. I was into this too, man. I'm just like you. I wasn't chanting at home because that's silly, but
Yeah.
but I yeah, I was into it. I thought it was a lot of fun, and so I'm glad that it was just as fun live. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was I mean, it was obviously my favorite match of the night.
Well, then we know what your awards awards gonna be here in a minute.
Oh yeah.
Way to spoil it. All right, so we have this match. Claudio gets beat, like I said, Edge getting with the low blow, then the spear. But after the match, Renee is backstage trying to get a medical update on Willow. And I love Swerve. He's like, with all due respect, Renee, I'm looking for your husband right now. And I love how they break that wall sometimes. And I still think that Renee is a part of the Death Riders. If they let it cook even longer, it's like Renee is the one who orchestrated this whole thing, my opinion. If I was booking it, that's what I would have done. Anyway, so Hangman Adam Page like comes up to Swerve, and they get all the security trying to break him up, and this was really cool because Swerve, Hangman said he deserved his house being burned down and all the stuff he did because of all the stuff he did, and then Swerve just kind of stopped and said, I agree. He's like, I deserved it. And then Hangman's like, he's like, what did you just say to me? And he's like, I deserved it. I know. And that was that was an amazing back and forth between these two guys, and it really kind of defused this feud that just kept going and going and going. Maybe there's going to be some kind of thing now, because now that Swerve has said, "Listen, I deserved everything I got," and I'm, it's basically him saying I'm sorry. That was pretty cool.
That was really interesting because like it was when he went up to him, I couldn't hear like what they were saying like clearly. But so like when he said I know, like I didn't even know like what he was saying it to. But then he kind of like, so I was kind of like, was there something else said? I kind of missed that part. But then going back and watch, I'm like, is there going to be some sort of like alliance now maybe down the line here, which is going to be so weird to see. But like, I mean, I guess you've seen it before in wrestling too, where like most bitter enemies like get together. But I mean, this is something different. I mean, the shit they did to each other.
Oh my god,
and not to
dude.
even disagree, like when I mean to say that like Swerve, I mean he broke into his house and stood over his child's crib. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's messed up.
I probably would have burned the house down too.
Heck yeah, dude. I would have.
Like, goddamn.
He's lucky he only got what he got. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so this was. I'm sure there's going to be some weird feelings between the two, and they probably don't like each other, but I don't think they're going to be each other's throats anymore. So
Yeah, I think that's definitely a turning point now where it won't be like, because I think he said his goal was like for him never to become AEW champion now. So it wouldn't be like a Swerve if he helped him win the title.
Dude, you know what? That would be cool as shit. If like
Yeah.
everything's going on, blah blah blah, and Hangman comes out and helps him win. That would be a Swerve.
That would be incredible.
Oh man. So my Hangman leaves after this whole exchange, and Swerve, keeps walking down, through the hallway, and all of a sudden he gets just the shit beat out of him by the Death Riders. Claudio power bombs him onto glass, and just in like, I don't know what it was. There's like a pane of glass sitting in the corner or something, and he just threw him into it. I don't know what it was.
But it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah, Swerve sat up and sneered, and Moxley, they just, what did they took him, they pulled him to the ring too, didn't they? And they beat the shit out of him in the ring for a while. And Wheeler Yuta, he got out a bucket, and they told him to dump it. He dumped this bucket, and it was just glass shards. It must have been left over from the from the Tony Storm Mariah May matches, or something they left under the ring. I don't know, but they just dumped this whole pail of glass, and they just throw him onto it. They power bomb him right onto the glass. It was pretty gross, but I don't expect anything less from Moxley stuff.
Yeah, I was wondering what this like. I don't know if it was like a gimmick glass, because it was interesting that he wasn't like bleeding at all. Like
maybe he just didn't land on it exactly right. I don't know. Maybe it was rock candy.
Yeah, who knows? So here's the thing. So I wasn't 100% sure if this was not. So Swerve cut a promo after the show went off the air.
Okay.
This guy during his promo literally took the glass, like a big piece of glass, bit on it, and then spit it out. And I was like, wow.
That's definitely rock
I was
candy.
like, whoa. I posted the promo on my Instagram if you want to check it out. It was
Awesome.
holy shit.
That's crazy, dude. Like that's some hardcore shit right there. Yeah, dude, it has to be freaking rock candy if that's what he did.
Yeah,
I mean,
and that's the thing too, because it was like he was not bleeding at all. So I was kind of like, okay. I mean, it's still a crazy visual seeing all the glass like in his back, but
well, I mean, the rock candy would probably still make him bleed. So maybe he just landed on it perfectly.
yeah.
I don't
So
know. Who knows? But whatever.
it
Yeah.
was it was an interesting camera angle they did too from above.
Oh yeah, that was pretty cool. So you're reminding me all this shit I keep forgetting about.
Yeah.
I literally have just watched it again the second time before we did this. But yeah, so that was the Dynamite Go Home show for AEW Dynasty, man. Like, I guess we should probably rate it. So what do you want to rate it on? Do you want to rate it on we can rate it on rock candy glass
I
shards.
was literally gonna say you want to do it on that.
Yeah, let's do it on rock candy glass shards. What did you give this episode of Dynamite? How
So
many?
we're doing it out of 5.
Yeah, out of 5 rock
Um,
candy glass shards.
I mean, honestly, I'm gonna give it a 4.5 just because I had a really fun time at the show. I can't like maybe it probably would have been different maybe if I was watching it on TV, but just I had a great time at the show, so I'm gonna give this show 4.5.
And that seems to be like the pretty common thing, because whenever I always give it a full star when I'm there, because I have so much fun when I go to the shows.
Yeah.
I thought this was a decent go home Dynamite, so I'm giving it. My ratings. I've been trying to be a little more reserved about it. I'm gonna give this one. I'm gonna give it a 3.75 pieces of glass rock candy.
Yeah, so basically you'll do what Swerve did, take one of those bite it off and turn it in half and spit the other half out.
Yes, that's exactly right. That's not a bad. And I guess the Ghost, I have to channel him, but the Ghost is telling me he gave it a 4. He liked the AEW Dynamite's Go Home show. He thought it was cool. He spent some time in Peoria before. Like he had a couple cousins that are in the cemetery out there, so he went to visit them. Took them all to the show and gave it a 4. He's like, that's pretty good. My family kind of annoys me, or I'd have given it a 5. All right. So we should probably give this some awards. So the first award of the night is the Dewey Riley Hero of the Week award. Who gets the Hero of the Week award for you?
Oh man.
I know it's a tough one.
Man.
It's a real tough one.
I'm gonna give it I'm just gonna give it to Cope just because he just gave me just such a nostalgic feel at the show, singing his song after the song turned off and we were still singing along. So he's my hero just for just for doing what he's done for the past 25 years, how long he's been doing it now, because he's always been one of my favorites.
Hey, that's perfect. That works out perfectly. So I'm giving it to Dax, because Dax tried to do the right thing by being a dick. And I think he got Dick of the Week from me last week, or for the last episode. So I'm going to give him Hero because he tried to make right by Paul Turner, gave him that money, talked to Tony into letting him just have the money out front. And this might, and honestly, if things are shaping out the way that I think they might, this might be the last time I'm ever able to give Dax a Hero of the Week award. So he's mine.
Yeah. Because if this heel term is looming, then that'll be definitely the last opportunity to do that.
So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say, you know what, you're a hero in my books, bro. Next up, we have and this is probably an easier one, the John Holmes Biggest Dick of the Week award. I think I mixed them up, but we're going to do the John Holmes one now.
So you said easy. Like I have probably 2 or 3 people in mind.
Oh, okay, not so much easy for you.
I guess I'll go with Moxley because of what he did to Willow.
That's exactly what I was
Swerve.
thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking. Like he's just he double dicked it this time.
Yeah, exactly. Because I was thinking Mox, I was like, just what he did to Swerve, but I was like, but then what he did to Willow, it has to be him now.
Yeah, it used to be that Christian always got the Dick of the Week. Here's an interesting point too before we move on to the final award. Johnny and I were talking last time, and we were talking about how we think maybe like if FTR turns on Cope, and we haven't seen Christian, maybe Christian, and we get a Christian and Edge reuniting for a short period of time to fight off the FTR.
Yeah, and it's so funny because like we had that situation. What pay-per-view was it where where Christian like cashed in his little not the Money in the Bank,
A
but
Revolution, yeah.
yeah, and I'm like, and now I feel like there hasn't really been anything since that.
Yeah, I don't think he was on
Just-
TV once, and that was when the real vanilla guy, Nick Wayne, like got in his face, was like, you're awful, and you're stupid, and you didn't listen to our plan and all that shit. And we haven't seen him since. So maybe we're gonna get that. I don't know. I'd like to see that. An FTR Edge and Christian feud. I'll take that. That'd be fun. So
yeah.
our last award before we call it for this episode, we have the Freddy versus Jason matchup or showdown of the week. So what you got for this? I think I know. What do you
Yeah,
got?
obviously Cope and Claudio for that one. They put on, like you said, a banger. So that's the easy choice for me.
Yeah, hands down, that was mine as well. I don't think there were a lot of good like the Brody King Lance Archer match was really good, but it wasn't as good as Cope and Claudio. I think you're right about that. I think that was probably the best match of the night. Although the opener wasn't bad either.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing too. It's like that was just like a fun, like as far as like match quality, definitely Edge and Cope, but like the opening was just such a fun match to watch, and obviously there was more shenanigans in that match too. But it was just, I mean, both of them. I mean, I put high regard.
Yeah, it's just solid. Yeah, the main event's solid though. I think that was the best choice. All right, man. So we did it. We did the episode, and I probably fluttered a little bit and stuttered a little bit because doing this by myself for the first time is a little strange. But I'm glad you were here with me, so it wasn't just me talking to myself.
It was meant to be, going to the show and kind of putting everything together like that. So
yeah, that really helped accentuate it because I was kind of like, okay, because normally between the three of us, we can kind of get a really good like coverage of the entire show. But with you being there and just the two of us, I think we did pretty good. So good job, man. Thank you.
I think we killed it. So
yeah, hell yeah. All right, man. So before we go, do you have anything going on you want to promote for yourself, or promote your socials?
I'm going to SmackDown tonight. Still working on tickets, but I'm sure I'll get in the building somehow. Tickets for WWE are very expensive nowadays, as I think you probably know. So yeah, I got WrestleMania coming up, so really looking at that whole week is going to be quite insane. And yeah, so those are the two most immediate things coming up. I might actually, I think I'm going to be going to Double or Nothing now.
Oh, cool.
Gonna probably spend like a few days down in Arizona. I got some friends down there, hang out, and enjoy some more wrestling. So
fantastic, dude. Sounds great. For myself, I had a new episode of my show on Troma Now, Fantastico Disasterpiece Theatre, with my special guest, Diana Prince. Actually, we watched the film, the 3-episode film version of Toxic Crusaders, the movie. And like I said, that came out just on the 1st. And then my season finale hit March 1st. And that was with Kevin Van Hittenrick, and we watched Basket Case 2. It's been a great season. That's the end of my season. And Johnny Taylor's coming on my next season, so that'll be fun. We have a lot of guests coming on next season. So, yep, that's all I have for you guys. Check out Troma Now. It's $5 a month and free for your first month. So, Michael, I think it's time that we say what we say at the end of this show, and I'll start off, and you can follow in. Michael, namaste, EW.
Namaste, EW.